Mm, Thank you. Okay. So we just did a short settling practice, 5 minutes listening to the sound of a bell, if you're just joining by video now. And we'll move into a few slides, a little bit of discussion before going into practice today. And just a reminder that this is a series on both mindfulness of breath and breath work. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. This is a practice that toes a really interesting line between paying attention to things as they are, but also having a little bit of a impact, modulating things a little bit. And that's actually to help you pay attention to it. So it kind of toes an interesting line there. And there's a very specific format or structure, which we'll talk about, which is actually supposed to support you. And if that feels like it's constraining, you don't need to always follow it exactly as is. So you get to believe it was maybe Louis Armstrong that said, first you gotta learn all the notes and then you forget all that shit and go play. And I think that's hopefully what we're doing here today. So let me share my screen here. Are you all seeing my screen? Great. So this first week really has two focuses, which complement each other nicely. They're really one and the same. We can say applying attention wisely. And this is like fundamentals of not just this practice, but really not just really any mindfulness practice, any meditation practice. And in fact, extremely helpful for anything in your life to think about some of the things that we're talking about today. This is just working with how does the mind work? How does it get on things? How does it get off of things? What do we do about it? What are some of the strategies that we can use? That exercise that we just did, listening to the bell, which unfortunately we didn't record, but that exercise that we did was actually an experiment in just this and learning how to work with the different phases of attention. The other thing that we'll be doing today, which works really nicely with these phases of attention, is working on the counting of breath. And so yesterday, we went through a lot of the different stages, not all of them, but a lot of the different stages of this practice. And the first one, kind of the core foundational one, is counting the breath, which many of us have done before in many different forms. So we'll really hone in on that today. Okay, you don't need to remember the poly terms, but I figure I'm not the only nerd here. And so I'll put the poly terms for anybody that's nerdy like me. And you could just see the English term if you like. So this first term is vitaka. This is, and the English term would be applied attention, which is a good translation of it. There's a lot of translations, but this is the one I prefer. Applied attention is the moment that you first hear the bell, or the moment that you change your attention to first start paying attention to some other stimulus. You can kind of think of this as a staccato type of attention. So it's these little blips. I'm going to pay attention to that and that and that and that. So it's the actual effort to place the attention somewhere. A simile that's used in the traditional text is it's the moment of a hammer hitting the nail. So it's this moment of contact with whatever the object is. It's applying the attention. It's really useful, and I think it will become even more useful when you see the next part of this. But it's really useful to think about how this is happening both intentionally and unintentionally. There's all sorts of moments where we're applying our attention all the time throughout our day and in our meditation practice, and noticing the moment of, oh, my attention is switched and moved to this place. And perhaps it's because of a feeling, or perhaps it's a loud stimulus or something, all sorts of reasons. but applying attention is something we'll be working with a lot and learning how to bring some intention to it. And then there is sustained attention. Ooh, I see some smiles. Somebody's already getting it. At least one person got what I was going for here. So this is vichara. Vichara is the smooth aspect of attention. So it's getting a little bit more flowy. So you notice something, you move your attention to something, the hammer hits the nail, and then it stays. And the hammer is no longer a good simile for this. So a better one for this would be um, some of you know I'm kind of a sports nerd. So like if you're shooting a basketball, it'd be the follow through, or any, for swinging a baseball bat. That's what they have in baseball. If you swing a baseball bat, there's a follow through. Or if you are paddling with an oar, you don't just dip the oar in the water. Sure, that's the moment of applying the attention, but then you follow all the way through and keep moving. So vichara has this smoothness to it. It still is requiring some effort, some level of intention. And eventually, where we're going over the course of these 4 weeks is that you actually get to drop the effort and intention, which is joyous and wonderful. And yes, totally possible. But first, we want to apply a little effort and attention because of what we'll see next. So, a musical simile. This would be if Vitaka is like a staccato type of attention. This would be like legato, be more smooth. You're playing things together and you're flowing with whatever you're attending to. So with the bell, we were just doing this. This is the flowing with the bell slowly fading out. Of course, there are some problems here. We don't just get to choose where our attention goes whenever we want, whatever we're doing, because of our friend, Papancha. And this is, I think there's plenty of good uh, translations for this, but I think this is relatable to all of us. Actually, this picture really says it all. So, papancha is the aspect of mind that one little innocent thought, oh, yeah, forgot we're almost out of eggs. I gotta go get some eggs. Oh, yeah, but you know what else? Then when I'm out there, maybe I should, oh, yeah, I gotta go to the pharmacy while I'm out there. And then maybe I do this and then that. And oh, man, that reminds me, God, that terrible thing happened yesterday when I tried to do that. So, this is the aspect of mind where things just start spiraling out, mental proliferation. One of the things that we want to try to calm and bring some ease to. And a totally normal part of the mind that's been talked about for thousands of years at this point, mental proliferation. And we work with it by noticing these little staccato movements of the attention. Oh, now it's going to this. Okay, let's see if I can redirect it. I didn't make a slide of this, but we'll talk more about this in a moment. Really, our work in meditation, it can be boiled down to four things, and you can even boil it down to two from there. And it's really just how you work with wholesome states of mind and unwholesome states of mind. And so if you're having some wholesome state of mind, maybe you're settled and calm and quiet or peaceful or loving, etc., put in the word here. That's something that you want to maintain and you want to increase if possible. And if it's not there, you want to see if you can generate it or make it arise. And with unwholesome states in mind, you're angry or you're spiraling or you're sad or whatever it is, you can see if you can bring some ease to it and let go of it. And if there's an unwholesome state that's not already there, you just do your best to make sure that one doesn't arise. That's a little bit harder sometimes. There's all sorts of ways of working with these thoughts. And we talked about a few of these last night in the workshop afterwards with the Q&A. And fortunately, we didn't record that, but we have some of the questions and answers, and we'll post those. Most of them involve we can work with thoughts either by ignoring them. That's one way that we talked about last night. We can work with them by trying to say, oh, I've placed my attention in a place that's not actually very productive. And you just try to figure out a more productive place to place it. So that's what we'll be doing a lot of in this practice, those two, ignoring and replacing. There's other things that you can do. Like you can analyze, oh man, when I think about how much this person pisses me off, what ends up happening is my day gets worse. I end up being a meaner person to everybody. Things just don't end up going that well. So you can think about the dangers of thinking in a certain way. And there's a couple of others. Core amongst them really is relaxing the body, which we'll get to in just a moment. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we'll actually practice this. So we don't need to discuss this so much. But yesterday we talked about these different ways of paying attention to the breath and these different lengths of breaths, really long to really short, just working within what's comfortable. Very important. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. It can't be said enough because I don't know about you, Peter, but it took me like at least a few years of hearing the longest comfortable breath as the longest possible breath because that's what my mind does. And so when I say the longest comfortable breath or the shortest comfortable breath, it is really the comfortable breath, not the most longest possible or the shortest possible. Very, very important. So today we'll really focus on the counting and we'll focus on different lengths of breath. This is an excellent thing to practice on your own. Very easy to work with. Okay, I did all these texts yesterday. We'll just focus on the one today. The sutta of ana, in, pana, out, mindfulness. So in and out, the breathing, mindfulness of breathing discourse. So this is exactly what we're starting with. When we're breathing in long, we're paying attention to, okay, this is the longest breath. When we're breathing in short, this is the shortest breath. That's covered by the practice. So just as my old coach would say, follow the yellow brick road. Just follow the yellow brick road. The practice is already doing it for you. Then, sensitive to the entire body. So at first, we really might feel like I just need to get a hang of following these numbers. No problem. As we start to settle in a little bit more, we can allow a more full awareness of our body to show up. And this is actually extremely useful because it gives us the opportunity to relax what's going on, which kind of, jumping the gun on what's going to come next. But this is one of the reasons that this is so important. As we start relaxing into the practice, can bring more awareness in of the body. And that allows us to actually keep the body at a little bit more peace, which makes the practice much more pleasant. And also, one of the things that happens as the body starts getting tight and agitated, if we're not paying attention to it, is we start having thoughts to actually escape the discomfort, even though it's discomfort that we're not paying attention to. It's an incredible thing. So, sensitive to the entire body. And it also helps to start the practice, paying attention to the whole body. And then this calming bodily fabrication. Yesterday we talked, this is like a complex term for these kind of sensations and movements of feeling and all of these different things that are going on in our body. Really, we're just trying to calm what's happening in the body, bring some ease, breathing as if it's a gift to your body. Okay. So why don't we take a little stand and stretch break? If you're feeling sleepy, I know at least one person is definitely feeling sleepy by now because they were already yawning before. You can hyperventilate a little bit. Otherwise, you can just stretch for a moment. And then we'll start a little bit of practice. shall we? So, getting yourself situated, finding a meditative posture that is comfortable but not too slouchy. Lying down is acceptable if you're not feeling too sleepy. Feeling gravity, allowing yourself to give yourself to the ground, to the chair, to your seat. There's certain places that are tense. You might just shake them out for a minute or just let them settle and be at ease. And before we go any further, think about one person that you know wants good things for you. Think about one person that cares about you. And think about the fact that they care about you, the fact that they want good things for you. So during the practice today, we want to use this person as inspiration to want good things for ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves the way they might be gentle with us. Just noticing what that does to your mind and your heart and your whole body. Noticing how your breath is right now. Noticing how your mind is, if there's anything feeling sticky. Give it a moment to express itself and see if you can be okay with not touching this for 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes. Doesn't need your attention for these next 15 minutes. For these 15 minutes, nothing but your breath needs your attention. Maybe your blood sugars. And let's slowly start to extend our breathing a little longer. Can be any speed. Longer might mean a deeper breath or it might mean a slower breath. And let's find the longest comfortable breath. And that will change from one breath to the next, but just approximating the longest comfortable breath. Breathing in as a gift to yourself. Breathing out as a gift to yourself. What does that feel like to breathe as an act of kindness to your body and to your mind? And with this longest comfortable breath, we'll attach the numbers 1 through 9 on the inhale, counting to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on the exhale, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The word here is comfortable. Keeping this attitude of breathing as a gift to yourself, breathing to calm what's going on in your body. In with the quality of your attention. You're applying attention to some extent when you're counting each number. See if you can sustain attention throughout the numbers so that they kind of flow. You might also pay attention to how am I counting to myself? Am I counting in such a way that feels like a drill sergeant trying to hang on to these numbers or order myself to focus on them? Or am I counting gently as if lulling a baby to sleep? Our breath slightly so that we're breathing a breath just a little bit longer than your average breath. We call this the longer breath. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just finding where that is for you. Might be slower than what I just said, might be deep, might be shallow, might be much faster than what I said. However, just a little bit longer than the average breath. You breathe, certainly thoughts will tug at your mind, discomforts will weigh your body down. This is another kindness you can extend with your breath, using your breath to help calm the body. The body even includes our head, where we sometimes feel the tension of thoughts. What if your inhales could just swirl things around and mix them up a little bit, and your exhales could just release them back out to the air? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The longer of counting. 'Turning the breath now so it's a little bit shorter than your average breath, whatever that means for you. And the count is 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. We call this the shorter of counting. See if you can let go a little bit and let the numbers count themselves. And loosen your grip on the steering wheel just a little bit. Give yourself a little more room to just enjoy. And the hope is that you learn over time. It doesn't come right away, but you learn over time to enjoy breathing enough that it's much more pleasant than thoughts. And so, why would you even want to pay so much attention to thoughts? Now, breathing the shortest of counting, which is the shortest comfortable breath. The count is 1 in, 1 out. One, 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 one. The breath may be very shallow. You don't have to take in a big, deep 1 second inhale. Maybe taking in a quarter of a breath or even less. Your breath might slow a little bit to accommodate this shallow breath. You will find it. Just let it be comfortable. Let it be easeful. Those are your guides to find the right way of breathing. We'll return to the shorter counting. One, two, three, three, two. There's nowhere to go. We're just doing this. Might as well enjoy it. We'll return to the longer of counting. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six, five, four, three, two. Returning to the longest of counting. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two. Then returning to normal breathing, but pausing a moment to check in with yourself. What's happening with me right now? Taking a moment to recollect the practice. Read this poem to close us. Black Swallowtail. The caterpillar. Interesting, but not exactly lovely. Humped along among the parsley leaves, eating, always eating. Then, one night it was gone and in its place. A small green confinement hung by two silk threads on a parsley stem. I think it took nothing with it except faith and patience. And then one morning, it expressed itself into the most beautiful being. As you're ready, start deepening your breath a little bit. Mm. making some small movements. I'll close the recording and we can have a little bit of time for discussion and hanging out.